So first off, I want to draw a rectangle at -1, 1. Okay, you don't need to do this, but I want you just to pay attention right now. And 2, 2, and 0, 4, and -3, 1. I have a rectangle. Right here. And notice my rectangle is at an angle. I want to find the length and the width of this rectangle.
So,
3 and 2.
yeah.
Nope.
Isn't it if it's fully across of it?
Okay? I want to find the length and the width of
4.
this rectangle.
Can't you just
4 and 3.
Okay?
rotate it?
So, what would I need to do to find the length and the width of that rectangle?
3 by 2.
And think of the,
Once you move it,
it can't be 3 by 2 because I'm going at an angle. Think of the Pythagorean
which,
theorem.
no.
Think of the Pythagorean theorem.
So we have the height. and
How do we
that's-
have the height?
Well, the height of, it goes this, just that, so that's,
5 from
Okay.
the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Like diagonally.
What if I do,
yeah,
what
that's
if I do this? What shape did I just make inside it?
Triangle.
What kind of a triangle?
right triangle.
Right triangle.
Okay, and what is this thing called?
It's the.
It's called the hypotenuse, right?
And then the other triangle.
Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, so you had that right, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, right?
Mhm.
3
Three,
and
three.
3. So what is, so if I did a squared
So
plus b
9
squared equals c squared,
9 plus 9, 18.
9 plus 9 equals 18.
And
So
then-
the length is the square root of 18.
Which
But
is
there
like,
is no square root.
All right,
of
okay, you hang on. Okay, hang on to this thought. The length is the square root of 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now I need to find the width of the same triangle, or the same rectangle. So I got the length. So to find out how wide it is, I'm gonna change my color so it doesn't get too confusing.
you just finished that line on the bottom, which is.
So I could, yeah, I could go, well, not that, well, yeah, I guess I could, this one would be better. The reason why this one's better is I have this as my hypotenuse now.
Oh, yeah.
2 by 2, right?
2
So
by
it's
2.
8.
Which is
Or-
8, right? Because a
Eight,
squared
yeah.
plus b squared, so
So the width
that's
is
4 plus 4 equals 8.
Eight.
And
So
then
my
we-
width is square root of 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I wanna
so
write this.
what, yeah, you do want to write this down, but this is the part where I want you to write this down. How do I find the area of that rectangle from two square roots that are irrational? Now think back to before spring break, so start moving the cobwebs that are in your head and all the goo of spring break that you put in there and all of Caleb's incessant Apple product agreements in your head. Clear all that out, throw it in the garbage can. And what happens when we do the square root of 18 times the square root of 8? All right, so this is what we're doing today. So how do we figure out the square root of 18?
9 and 2.
Well,
That's not.
Well,
the
then
root,
3
it has
and
to be the
3,
same
so
number.
3
Okay, so
squared
there's-
times the square root of 2.
Let's do something really easy. What's 18 times 8? Someone figure it out for me.
144.
All right, so now I have the square root of 144. Because we did square root of 18 times
Which
square
is
root of 8.
12.
And the square root of 144 is 12, correct?
Mhm.
Boom. Done. We got the area of this is 12 square units. Okay, that's one way to do this. There's another way to do this problem, which some of you were already hinting at already, or two of you, since I only have two of you today. We're already hinting at, and it's good that I'm doing this video because all I gotta do is Christine, Jessica, can just watch this, right?
Mhm.
So square root of 18 times square root of 8.
Oh.
Okay, now, let's break down square root of 18. 18 is 9 and 2, right?
Squared times the square root.
Oh, so we're doing,
9, remember, square root of 9 times square root of 2,
yeah, and then.
Which
But 9
is-
can be broken down again.
which is 3 times square root of 2,
Okay,
right?
that makes sense.
Want to be 3 squared? Because you have 2 3s?
Square root of 9 is 3.
Oh, yeah.
Now over here, the square root of 8
4 and
4 and 2.
is 4 and 2.
Or 4.
So that's square root of 4 times the square root of 2.
And then 2.
So 2 times the square root of
2.
2. Now, 3 times 2 is,
6.
and
4.
2 times 2 is 4.
4.
And what's the square root of 4?
2.
Square root of 4 is 2, right?
So it's 3 and 2.
So that's 6 times 2, which is 12, which is what we had over here.
Yay!
How we? Oh, because we did the square root of.
We over on the left side, we multiplied square root of 18 times square root of 8 to get the square root of 144, which gave us 12, because the square root of 144 is 12, right? On the other side, because you're not always going to be able to do that. On the other side, we broke them down like we learned a couple weeks ago. 18 to the square root of 9 times square root of 2. Square root of 9 is a square, so that's 3 times square root of 2, times square root of 8, which is square root of 4 times square root of 2, which 4 becomes 2 times square root of 2. And then we combine the stuff that we can combine. 3 times 2 is 6, and the square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, which makes 12. Okay, lots of steps, but they're doable steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's how you can do it on a grid. Now, if I clear this grid and show you there's another way,
Wait, what lessons are all those steps from? Like the.
we'll get to those in a minute. Off the top of my head, I don't recall.
It was one of the recent lessons.
Okay, what if I do a shape like this? What if I put an R here, that point is R, and let's see, I gotta figure this out here for a second. So 5 and 2, and I'm gonna call this one S. You know, it looks like a 5, doesn't it? S.
5, 5.
And then I do one right here at 5, 3, and then I have one at here.
It's more of a.
What kind of shape does this one make? If I drew my line
square.
straight, it makes a square. All right? So there's another way that I can solve this one. All right? Let's make a square that fits the square. Okay, so I'm going to draw another color. I'm putting in another color. Okay, here's my. So it's 5 high, because that's how high it is. And it's 5 wide, right? Right? So I have a square inside a square, and I didn't label the rest of them, so let's call this one Q, because I don't know why.
B.
And this one B for Beck.
Yay!
Okay, and the big square is Joe.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't want you to cry.
Hi, Joe.
Okay, how big is the red square?
Bigger
It's
than
a
the
5
blue
by 5.
Well, how big is it? What's the area?
5 by 5, 25.
So that one's 25 square units, right? The red one is 25 square units. All right, but what about the blue square? How do we figure out the blue square?
You make a triangle like the last time.
So what do you think?
I say it's 4 by 4 by 4 by, or 4, 4, 4.
Wait, are we trying to find the area?
Yeah, I want to find the area.
Did you just fill in on this?
No, we could, but we're not doing that. We're doing math. All right, so how can I find the area of the blue square?
You do what we did by making a triangle.
I can't.
You can't. It gets you to 13.
How did you figure out 13?
Because you do it, it's 3 to the middle and then 2 across, and then 2 squared plus 3 squared.
Good
is
call,
13.
Beck. It's 3. I know my lines are a little off because my grid's off. There's your 3 to the middle,
Mhm.
right? And 2 across, right? It's a square, so it doesn't matter, does it? So a squared is 3 squared plus b squared, 2 across, and you said you got 13, right? So, so now we got to do the square root of 13. Well, that's going to be a problem for us, isn't it? all right?
Why is that not equal? Like,
Each side, that means, what does that tell us?
That it.
That tells us some information.
It's
That our squares off.
No, each side of the square, I know in my drawing it is, each side of the square is the square root of 13, right?
Mhm.
So, but how do you find the area of a square?
Oh,
You
base times
length times width.
or like-
Well, side times side, because they're all the same, right?
Yeah.
So, square root of 13 times square root of 13, right?
Mhm.
Which we get,
169.
no, they're both squares though.
Oh.
Which is, you could go 169, but what are you gonna end up
169
with?
plus
What
169.
you're gonna end up with is 13
Yeah.
square units, right?
So each side is 13 units. Oh wait, no, 13 units is the
The
area.
area, each side is the square root of 13.
Cut divided by 2.
So what do? Well, when you take two squares that are the same and multiply them, you end up with the whole number that's inside, right? If you did 13 times 13, what'd you get? 169? Square root of 169 is 13, right?
It's 13.
So we came right back to where we started. Now, what is the difference, percent difference of the two areas of those two squares?
13 and 25.
13 and 25. So how do we figure out the percent? Well, 13 divided by 25, because it's 13 over 25, so we gotta divide. Okay? 25 goes on 130 5 times, right? You get 125.
52. 5.2. 5.2. Or 0.5.
0.52, which is
Yeah, 0.5.
52%. Correct? Say yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Correct.
That's
All right.
right.
Let's try a couple more. Let's try something different now. Let's get away from the grid stuff. Okay, the grid stuff you guys did awesome with. We're almost done. What about this? Square root of 3 times the square root of 12. Oops, 12, not 2. How do I do that? Now let's go back to what we did on that first rectangle.
36. So,
3 times 12 is?
36. And then the square root
36.
of 36 is 6.
And square root of 36 is 6. Oh, I started to draw. So 6, right?
Mhm.
So we could easily do that one. But this one, we're not going to want to do that way, and there's a reason why.
Because we want to do it the other way.
Why don't I want to do this way?
Because that's just going to be really
That's
big.
a pain in your tuchus,
Oh my goodness.
right? Because you got big numbers to deal
So,
with, right? What's 42?
7 times 6.
No.
Square root of
it's
7 times the square root of
Seven.
6, and then you get.
What else could 42 be? We need to bring it all the way down to its prime numbers.
7 and 6, we could do that, right?
2 and
just do
21.
that Triangle, go down.
2 and 21. 7, so 7 and 6 is the same thing. So you got square root of 2 times 3 times 7, correct?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, what is 24?
24 is 6 and 4, or 6 and 4.
6 times 4, and 6 is 2 and 3, right? Times 2 times 3, and 4 is
2 times 2, 4.
times 2 times 2, right? Correct?
Right.
How many 2's do you have there?
3, 4.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then 2.
So it's 2 squared.
Okay?
No. Yeah.
So if I break it out to pairs to show you the steps, 2 times 2, that's 2 of my 2's, right? Times 2 times 2 in the square. So that's all my 2's. How many 3's do I have?
2.
I have 2 3's, so 3 times 3. And then I have square root of 7, right? So I only have the 1 7. Right? So what is this one, the first one? 2 times 2 is 4. Back down, square that. So 2 times 2 times, guess what that one is?
3.
3 times the square root of 7. So 2 times 2 times 3 is
4.
12.
12.
12 to the
times square root of 7. All right? That's going to be, for you, a lot easier than doing 42 times 24 and trying to figure out what the square root of that is, because you're going to end up at 12 times square root of 7. But this way is a lot easier.
We'll just keep going
That's the
down
answer?
until
12
you-
That's
times
the
the
answer. 12 times square root of 7. Okay? 12 times square root of 7 is the answer. Okay, I can't do the square root of 7. That's as far as that can get.
It's almost, it's like 9.2.
Yeah. So, but you see how we do that?
Mm-hmm.
How's it 19?
Okay, let's do one more.
Because you get 84 if you multiply them. And 9 times 9 is 81, so.
3
9
times the square root of 6 times the square root of 15.
So you have to.
So let's